But we wouldn't be talking about religion per se, we're going to be talking about music. And good day and welcome to Poetry Corner.
Where's Cameroon outside?
Good day and welcome to Poetry Corner at the African Center for Community and Development. I'm Arrey Ivo. Good day and welcome to Poetry Corner. I'm Arrey Ivo at the African Center for Community and Development. Today we shall be treating a poem under the theme Mating Cry. It is a poem by Odia Ofeimun, and the title of the poem is Without You. The poem reads thus: In your absence, my life is all a stammer, haunted down by a non-existent tomorrow. I feel guilty of sins I have not committed, born on the wings of incessant fears. Without you, my earth suffers a demise of colors, as when a guest leaves the house at night, the light goes out. This poem is an apt depiction of the strong emotions that go between two people in love. In the first part of the poem, we have a sense of the fact that the life of the poet, of the speaker, will be seriously threatened if his lover goes out of the scene, out of the stage. His life is only his life because he has this feeling, this emotional contraption for his lover. But then this has borne out a lot of different fires. Not only the fires of love, but there's also the fires of insecurity. As we see that the poet says, my life is all a stammer, haunted down by a non-existent tomorrow. So his life is stuttering. His life doesn't have pace. Instead of working, he is probably only managing to move. And his tomorrow is very bleak. And he has painted his tomorrow as bleak as a non-existent tomorrow, actually. And life without a tomorrow intimates the fact that the poet is so unsure, even though he has these wonderful, overbearing feelings for this partner. This is the first major hint of the fact that maybe the love may not be as reciprocal as the speaker would have loved. In the next verse, to add our attention to what he is speaking, he decides to use the first person narrative. And he continues by saying, I feel guilty of sins I've not committed, born on the wings of incessant fears. I guess he's like saying, will this woman leave me? Am I sure I have the capacity to keep this lover? This doubt, in the backdrop of a very strong emotion, is what many people go through, fearing that maybe their lovers will leave them. But then, in most cases, as many writers have written over time, love is usually blind, and people cling on to it without really understanding why they should. And then, to reiterate not only this theme of emptiness, of a bleak tomorrow. The poet now, in the next verse, insists by mentioning the title of his poem within the verse. And the next verse starts by, "Without you, my earth suffers a demise of colors." Now we almost see that even though he has doubts, there's a reason for hope. Because if the world of the speaker will be without colors, if his lover fades out, then it means even if the love is not reciprocal, it might be necessary to keep the poet alive by leaving this wonderful contraption that has kept him going on the stage. It comes to say, all that glitters is not gold. It comes to say, roses are beautiful, but then they have thorns. So he helps us in shaping our feelings about his problems by saying, "My earth suffers a demise of colors, as when a guest leaves the house at night, the light goes out." This is a very wonderful analogy. In Africa, when guests come in, there's a lot of festivities, and sometimes in the village setup, it usually is like, oh, when the guest comes, they sit under lamps and they probably share cola nuts and an evening meal, and when the visitors or the guest is leaving, it's usually at the dark side of night when most people want to sleep. So when the visitor leaves, in most cases, the light in the house goes out. So the joy, the festivities that come with the visitor are usually put off in a kind of dramatic manner when the light goes off. So the center stage of this poem, which is love for somebody that the poet is afraid of losing, is now heightened in the last words, that even though the poet has difficulties in feeling secure about his emotions, if the light of that emotional encounter is put off, the poet will generally fade out. So we realize that the poet has done an apt depiction of what prevails in almost all cultures in Africa and in any part of the world where lovers ponder about their emotions for each other. Thank you very much for tuning in onto Poetry Corner at the African Center for Community and Development. It has been Arrey Ivo. Thank you. But we wouldn't be talking about religion per se, we're going to be talking about music. Good day and welcome to Poetry Corner.
Where's Cameroon outside?
Good day and welcome to Poetry Corner at the African Center for Community and Development. I am Arrey Ivo.